Okay, well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us. Seeker Circle, I particularly love because I so enjoy the whole range of spiritual discussions. I've studied like everything possible in metaphysics. Well, probably not everything possible, but metaphysics, spirituality, psychic, mediumship, how we heal, how we don't heal, all of it, particularly even swinging right over to religion, as a background in ministry. So I like it all. I find it totally fascinating, and I personally believe we should talk about it more. Right? Instead of keeping little secrets here and there where we whisper, have you seen angels? Or, oh, I don't think I can say this in front of my family. I think there's way too much of that. I think we should openly process, think through, ask our questions, and probe the whole nature of reality to discover truth and say where we have doubts and where questions. And Seeker Circle is such a great place because everybody who shows up here is also a seeker, right? They're also the kind of people that ask questions. So it's great. So I usually start Seeker Circle with a mini PowerPoint with some visuals just to get your mind thinking and get the discussion topics going. And we record that just in case somebody comes on in a few weeks and they want to know where we've been and what we've done. Okay. And so they could just go and look at a couple of those clips, see some of the stuff we've talked about. But other than that, we'll just record that little bit so we have it for future people. Then we'll take that all off. We'll get in some discussion groups, and you can just say whatever you say on the topic and think whatever you think on the topic. And we can just sort of share our ideas and see if we can stimulate some really cool insights. Okay, so for the sake of the recording, is everybody muted so that we're not hearing wild and crazy noises in the background? Okay, so let's start. Oops, the bar is covering my. All right, here's some cool pictures to look for. So here we are, Seeker Circle, where we discuss all things spiritual just because we love it. Now, the last time we talked generally about the personal energy field, and this is that energy that surrounds our body, whether it's sort of physical, spiritual, energetic, all the different thoughts that we have on that. And tonight we want to ask questions about our personal energy field, the piece that emanates from us or radiates outside of us. And what does it do? How does it affect us? And how can we, change it and work with it? So some of you guys might already have backgrounds in energy healing and energy fields. And this question, when you're starting to learn about energy, is like one of the first things you play with. If you hold your hands together, if you're going to learn any sort of hands-on healing or energy work, they always say, learn to feel your own energy. And if you sit with it long enough, you can actually start to feel it vibrate. And then you start to play with it like taffy, pushing it and moving it around, because it's a subtle thing, right? It's not like, feeling your arm. It's this really gentle, subtle, but everybody can feel it if you practice it and play with it. So that's the start to really understanding. If I could feel that here, could I feel that up my arm? Could I notice anywhere else on my body? Can I feel my energy field? So it's a great exploration, lots of fun. But the idea is we want to study this and talk about it, not like it's a theory you want to learn, but something that you can say, I believe it's true because I've experienced it. Okay. And so we do. We want you to be able to play with it and feel it. So the next question to consider is, if you can feel this little hand thing, do you feel the energy fields of other people when you are near them? So technically, the people who work a lot in energy fields would say, like this diagram, that we have this energy field radiating around us. And if you step in close to somebody, you can feel their energy if you pay attention. Now, most of us are busy talking or judging what they're wearing or what they look like or whether we like them. And so there's all this physical reaction. But if you didn't have that, and you stepped in close to somebody, would you feel the energy field that's radiating around them? Okay. And then the question is, you may have had an experience where you weren't consciously trying to feel that, but I think most of us have had that experience where you were in a room with somebody and you were just like, uh, and you just got the heebie jeebies, or you just really uncomfortable, and you could declare, there's something off there, and they just feel really angry, or they just feel, I'm really uncomfortable when I'm near that person, right? And so sometimes we call it a gut feel or something. So if you think back, there's probably been times when you have felt the energy of other people, either deliberately or even accidentally. Okay. Now, step further, do you notice when other people affect your energy? So you can say, you know what, whenever I go to coffee with Susie, I feel great. Not just the conversation, but their presence. So you begin to be aware that when you're around these people, you feel awesome. You feel lovely. They're very comforting. And other people, when you're around them, just it's unpleasant. You just don't like being around them. And so then the question is, it's one thing to say I don't like being around that person, but have you ever noticed when those people leave that they have actually imprinted your energy and you have this energy hangover or transference that now you feel kind of yucky even when they're not there anymore? They have done something that has left an imprint in your field, and you have picked up these feelings, transference, whatever you want to call it, and now you feel different because of your interaction with them, and not just when they're in the room. It lingered. All right, so you want to try to think back, when did that happen, and why does that happen? So then we fold in this question. Many of you probably have heard the word and have know the discussions or understand that this is you. What are empaths? So generally speaking, empaths are people that are highly energetically sensitive, emotionally sensitive. And what happens for an empath is they do pick up and can feel the emotions of others. In most cases, it's about the other people's emotions, but often it's also just the energy field that person projects. The challenging part with empaths is if you know you're an empath, then you accept that, right? Oh yeah, that's so and so. I got. But if you don't know that and you grow up not knowing that, then we get very confused about our own emotions and our own feelings, and we get upset and we're unhappy. And somebody could say to you, well, what's your problem? Like, why are you in that bad mood? Like, why are you unhappy? And you honestly don't know, because you actually picked it up from somebody else. You felt their emotions. And most empaths who don't really understand how this works are constantly confused about their own emotional state. They do not know, are these truly my own emotions, or are these the emotions of others? Right? And for many, they don't even get that far. They just don't know. They just don't trust their own emotions anymore and their own feelings, because they don't know why they're feeling what they're feeling. So an empath growing up in a family that never talks about this stuff gets to be a very confused and emotionally troubled person, because they think it's all them and it's all their fault, right? If there's something wrong with them, that they're constantly experiencing this array of emotions and energy, and it doesn't make sense to them. Okay, so this can be a really tricky thing. It can also be a very cool thing if you know how to work it. So there's so much discussion on how do we identify empaths? How do they get like that? Should they be able to handle it? What can we do differently? And truly, are you an empath yourself and struggling with how to handle it? Okay, so then again, in energy fields, there's this really big theory out there that the condition of our energy, what we project and what is around us, is actually controlled by the mind. And the mind is the master keeper and director of energy. And it's what we think that creates the mood, and what we think that projects out an aura So that the people who have really uncomfortable or angry aura is because their mind is constantly thinking angry, blaming, hurtful thoughts, and thus they project that out without even knowing it. So the question is that energy field in that aura completely controlled by the mind? Because if we knew where it was controlled from, would we be able to change it? Okay, followed up by, do our thoughts and emotions alter our energy field, like that implied, and now contribute to our health and well being? Is the body's physical health altered by the vibrations of the aura and the human energy field? Right? Is that how it's controlled? And depending on our aura, which is altering the physical body, if that's true, does our aura and our energy field completely affect our health and well being? That'd be good to know, right? So here's your questions to ponder, either now in your discussion groups or for anybody who's watching this later. These are great questions to discuss with your friends and family if we want to openly talk about spiritual and energetic things. If this aura around us is real because we can feel it, and the mind affects the condition of the aura, are we making ourselves sick? Can we change our own energy field and have it alter our physical body? And if we can, how do we change that and how do we affect it? So we want to discuss all our feelings around the energy field, its effect on us, its effect on other people, other people's energy effect on us, and how to get control. Is it possible to get control of that so that we can shape our energy and our bodies, thus our lives? So these are the things we kind of want to talk about and play it through. All right, so I'm going to ask Mary Jean to stop the recording. So that's our little picture, that's our story. And now